So I wanted to make a video today about my sketchbook, particularly my tablet, drawing in Procreate. I've had this for about 3 years, and prior to me having this before that, I would always draw in these sketchbooks. Um, you can see like very colorful markers, color pencils. That's kind of what I was used to drawing in before I got my iPad. And when I got my iPad, I didn't want to get the big one. I wanted something close to this size. I'm comfortable drawing on this size. This is my go-to size for a lot of stuff. So I wanted to make sure I was comfortable and getting a good size for me. Um, yeah, so for the last 3 years, I've been drawing in this for about every day, maybe every other day. And I don't really draw my sketchbooks like I used to, but this is like an endless amount of paper in here. So I like that a lot. So yeah, let's just get into it and I'll show you. So as you can see, I use Procreate. Um, really like this program. Pretty easy to learn. I was very shaky in the very beginning of drawing in Procreate. But the neat thing about Procreate is that uh, the last thing you worked on is always on this top row and then kind of just goes down in that way. So my first drawing in this is actually at the very bottom. This was my first drawing in Procreate. And it actually comes from a sketchbook, as you can see. And when I was going to start drawing in Procreate, I was like, let's go grab my sketchbook. Let's pick out a drawing from my sketchbook and throw it in Procreate. See if we could just trace over the line work and just color what we see. That was easier said than done. I jumped right into inking it. My line work is very shaky, very wonky, not crisp. I think the only straight lines I got in here are this curve, maybe this mouth, but overall, I really didn't know what I was doing. I was just picked up the pencil and just started drawing with the pencil. Or it was with some brush. I don't even remember what brush I picked. Then I went ahead and color it. The color is kind of bad. Really poor attempt at making drips. Uh, kind of comically bad. I don't like this at all. The coloring isn't really all there either. I didn't know how to blend. So this was a very good exercise to learn how to use Procreate and how it acts when you're drawing and coloring and whatnot. Then another one of my drawings is the 7-Eleven slushy skull. It's probably one of my favorite drawings to draw. I draw it quite often. It also comes from a sketchbook. And a lot of my drawings that I first started on Procreate actually came from a sketchbook. Just it was my point of reference. But my what I did first was actually I did my blue line, my outline. Just a tight sketch version. Then I went ahead and I inked it with the line with my ink tool and with one of the brushes in here. And this is before I learned how to before I learned stabilization and before I learned how to use any of the brushes in Procreate. Like, look how thick that finger is compared to that line. Like, there's no need for that thickness, to be that different. This coin is very wonky. A lot of the line work, like there's a bump for no reason. Like, why? Um, so yeah, the line work in itself is not the best, but the drawing is okay. It's there, but the coloring, when you apply the color to it, kind of hides all those mistakes. You don't see them right away. But like I said, this is a drawing that you'll see me draw again and again because it's one of my favorite drawings. And in Procreate, I kind of jumped to this fun little square size. You can see I put all the artboards that are the same size in a stack, and that is 223 doodles that are in here. So 223 over the last 3 years I've done, right? Oh, I'm sorry, 423. 423 doodles over the last 3 years. Um, I'm not going to stop and go through every single one of them, but I'll show you my first one right off the bat. You can see the line work's very messy. It's not clean at all. Kind of hard to tell what you're looking at if you zoom in very closely, but you can kind of tell it's still really wonky. I didn't even want to color it because my last 2 times I colored, I didn't really understand what I was coloring or how to color. But this still follows my same principles. I always start off with a sketch under drawing. Then I come back and I ink it. Then I color it. And if I want, I'll go ahead and post it. But those are my steps. I go ahead and start off with a line work, the outline of my drawing. Then I ink it. Then I color it. Then I post it. Those very simple steps that I follow every time I do a drawing. You can see very early on when I started adding color, I didn't know how to apply color properly, and I didn't have any idea what masks were. So I'm actually just straight up coloring on the same layer and not understanding how to separate layers, anything like that, this early on. Another thing is that my line work is still very shaky. And you're seeing a lot of my earlier drawings on Procreate. I started just adding drips and making everything look very drippy and, runny looking. And that is because I wanted to hide my shakiness with the line work. I was like, the best way to hide that shakiness is to make everything look like it's dripping, make everything look like it's runny. Gives a reason why that line work's not so straight. Eventually, I learned how to make a straight line. I eventually learned how to have crisp colors and shadowing and all of that. But very early on, I had no idea. And this was my first time drawing in Procreate too. So these were like my very first drawings and having some kind of digital artwork. This little devil guy is one of my earlier drawings, but you'll see him over and over. I just like to redraw him, and my very first time drawing him, I didn't have a lot of coloring on this. Very flat shadows. Line work's a little better, but I also would beef up the line work to hide my mistakes too. So you'll see that on a lot of my earlier works that I just beef up the line work to try to hide that. And I did a lot of drips just to try to hide my shakiness too. I think, see, right about here, I learned about stabilization. And my brushes, I'll tell you right now, my brushes, I only use about 3 to 4 different brushes. My first two I go to is Peppermint. Peppermint's my sketch one that I use for my underdrawings. And I use the studio pen. And when I ink with my studio pen, I have my stabilization at like 80 to 79 and 75, somewhere around there. And if I want to, do a tag or do some lettering, I'll bring it all the way down to like 0 to 1. So that way when I handwrite, it's not as stable, I guess. I can be honest, I don't really understand this process, but I just know crisper line, handwriting. Crisper line, highlighting. Easiest way to remember. Don't know much more about this. So like I said, I'm kind of new to this, kind of. But yeah, that's like my first time learning stabilization. Another first time for me to color my ink work, so I don't have a black outline in here. I wanted to try something different. Another thing I like about Procreate is that you can see your process. See the blue outline. Then I inked it with a gray, and then I started inking each one separately in this particular process to see how it would look. But yeah, that's a whole other process right there. And you'll see some of these just drawings I've never really posted. Like this one here, I never posted it. I drew it. I didn't like it. I left it where it's at. I might come back to it. I might not. I don't know. I don't know. But I like this a lot because I don't feel like I'm wasting paper or I'm going to lose it or it's going to fade. It just stays here forever. So a lot of my ideas that I don't ever move forward with or finish them, I can always come back and look at them later on. Maybe I'll learn something new and I can actually work on that old idea. Eventually, I started messing with gradients. Still a little shaky with my line work. Not the best. Still learning how to use stabilization. Still adding those drips to hide my shakiness. Line work still kind of thick and bold here and whatnot. But I'm starting to understand how to use gradients. And this just predate me learning what a mask was, so how to use a clipping mask. So the gradient's actually made by me coloring and then erasing, coloring and erasing. So very counterproductive on how to do gradients. But when you don't know, you don't know, you know. I do recommend you guys just looking up YouTube tutorials and looking up online on how to be proficient in using Procreate. I didn't do that right away, but I eventually started coming around and doing that more and more. It's just how I was able to refine what I learned. Because I just didn't play. I played with it, but I also watched a lot of tutorials and videos on how to improve from, like how to make the program work for you. You know, you don't want to work for the program. You want the program to work for you, if that makes sense. And towards the end of the year, versus in that first 6 months or so, I am creating stuff like this. My line work's a lot more cleaner, a little bit more refined line work. Hit my tag right there, and I wanted to draw more robots. I like drawing robots, so I drew more robots. But yeah, this is just within that first couple of months of me having my tablet, I was able to create stuff like this. That background I made from a bunch of different sketches and doodles, I just took the line work and mushed them together in the background and made this kind of funky texture. But every day, this drawing, I went from, limited colors and very shaky lines to drawing robots and having more gradients and adding textures in there. That's just within a couple months, within that first year. I know that because this is here. This is my first Thanksgiving with my tablet. I don't know if you guys know this. Probably don't know this. I don't like to eat turkey for Thanksgiving. I know. It's a shock. Oh no. I like honey ham and I'll eat pumpkin pie. But in this scenario, I'm going to go pumpkin pie. I don't know if you guys like honey ham or if you guys probably like turkey. Throw it in the comments below. Which would you prefer, honey ham or pumpkin pie? Or if you guys just think that I'm crazy and turkey's the only solution for Thanksgiving and that eating anything else besides that is absurd. I would like to hear your feedback about that. Throw it in the comments. Let's get that going. But yeah, this was my first Thanksgiving with my tablet. I remember that. Yeah, and by then I was like, adding a lot more textures, drawing computer heads, drawing kind of human bodies, and still going crazy with this custom texture background I would do every time. Another no thick outline, no black outline. I wanted to try something different. You could actually see faces. So a lot of times, a lot of people don't really get to see this unless you watch my shorts. But I come up with a lot of ideas before I land on what I want to do. And it's been like that since I started doing this. I wish my sketchbooks could capture my process like this does, because you guys would be able to see way more drawings that I've done before in the past with that same process of this drawing and erasing. there's so much that I do of that just is erased forever. But yeah, that's just a quick, short little video of how I came up with this. And at this point, I wanted to try something different, not having a black outline on a lot of my artwork. You'll see as I move forward, I start to have a thinner line work, and I start to push that black line work out and having different colors. At this point, this is probably that about a year. And I know when I drew this little devil guy, yeah, when I drew this devil guy, it was 1 year since the last time I drew that devil guy. So just 1 year since I did that last one. Just 1 year progress of just drawing over and over. Look at that. We're drawing Bulbasaur. We didn't like him. And we were drawing Charmander. We didn't like him. And then we started drawing all these skulls. And we didn't like any of that. We landed on this devil guy though. But I want you guys to know that when I land on something I want to draw, I don't even know what I'm going to have the face be. I don't know what the finished product is going to be. So you'll see through like this last stretch of my drawing that I'm just still messing around with the face. I don't know what it's going to look like. It's not till the very end that I decide that I'm going to give him big teeth and like these angry eyes. And I land on that. So yeah, this is 1 year with my tablet. And this is just within a few months or a few weeks of me having my tablet. So huge difference from that to that. So just remember, just keep at it and you'll see your skill improve over time if you just keep at it. If I was very discouraged at my first drawing, I wouldn't have kept going, but I just got to know that I make that, I can make something better. Like just keep that in the back of your mind. I made that and I can make something better. That's kind of how I keep moving forward with a lot of my own artwork. Another thing I want to show you guys, I hide my tag in a lot of my artwork. I don't know if anyone ever sees my tag, my artwork, but it's a nice little Easter egg that I throw in there is my tag. So if you ever see it, throw it in the comments that, hey, I saw your tag on so-and-so. It's at this spot in the drawing. It'd be really cool if other people noticed it. I really don't know if anyone else notices it, but it's my little thing that I try to do and incorporate on all these doodles. So we're a little bit after a year at this point, and I'm doing stuff like this. I'm still doing drips, messing with this thin black line for an arm and having fingers that are a little bit more refined. No more craziness on my line work. It's way more crisp. A little jagged at some spots, but overall it's a pretty clean line work than what we saw before. There's my tag again, like I just talked about. But that's just a little over a year now into just doing like a daily drawing or doing exercises in this. And when I mean by exercises, this is kind of what I mean, like just doing stuff like this. I don't have to finish it right then and there. Sometimes I stop right there and come back to it a couple days later. But doing stuff like this every day improves on your drawing abilities. And you'll see it if you just keep at it. But yeah, that was that drawing. I got into the playing cards. This was a fun little set. If I ever have time to go back, I will do the whole set. But, you know, that's a project for another day. But this is just a Suicide King. I thought it'd be kind of cool to see him kill himself twice. But yeah, that's kind of another fun one. I did the King of Diamonds too. I had the whole set drawn out. I just didn't do it. We did dupe, and I started getting this crazy gradient backgrounds, and he's got a gradient too with a shadow. And yeah, I just wanted to start drawing something different, and I started doing comic book characters. So I did dupe. He's one of my favorite ones. And then I did the Thing, and this is just a pencil. Like I think this was the peppermint drawing, like the peppermint brush. and I just did a bunch of scribbles to make it look like it's the rock, like rock stone, like the thing. But yeah, that's really all that was. There's not a whole lot to it. Then I learned that you could do this in Procreate. I don't know if you guys know this, but you can do a little bit of animation. It's crazy. I learned this and I threw my style at it. So I'm learning these new tricks, I'm learning these new tools, and I'm just applying my own flair to it and still making it say, hey, that's Marv, that's my style. But I'm learning new stuff along the way. So just something I like to tell you guys that I'm always trying to keep it at the core of it, my style. Like it's mine. Um, let's see what else we got. Got this crazy fish with a smiling face coming out. Oh, another thing I used to do a lot of, I used to write my handle. So it says at no effort art. Kind of stopped doing that. But just because I posted on my accounts, if you're not following me already, you guys should go find me on Instagram, Twitter, X, Facebook. I'm on Threads. I'm on TikTok. Yeah, I'm on YouTube. Who would have thought? I don't know if you guys know that, but I got a YouTube channel. If you're looking for me, it's at No Effort Art. Oh, there it is right there if you didn't know. Right there. But yeah, shameless plug. Sorry. Continue. I started doing some graffiti tags like I used to. I like this. I like that I could do this kind of style in Procreate. And Procreate's a really good sandbox to play around with different styles. If you're not comfortable on drawing a certain way, you could mess around with different styles. But yeah, I just wanted to show you like a quick little jump around here. Birdhouse. Sometimes when I have an idea, I just run with it. There's not a lot of funniness in the beginning. I just have this idea. I'm just going to run with it. I wanted to draw a birdhouse with a shotgun. So that's what I did. I drew a birdhouse and I drew a shotgun. Drawing this, I did look at a shotgun. I did look at a birdhouse. I needed something to look at, so I used the point of reference to reference on how to draw a birdhouse and how to draw a shotgun. That's something I want to get better at, is looking at a reference and drawing from a reference. A lot of my drawings, if you haven't noticed already, I'm just drawing from the top of my head. I'm not really using a reference. So when I go and try to clean them up, I'll look at something, but often or not, I'm not really looking at anything. I just draw off the top of my head and kind of try to get close to it. Here is that slushy. This right here is 2 years ago. This is in 2022. When I did this, I thought it was great. I don't like it. It seems very flat. Doesn't really match the shape of a slushy container. So I'm actually working on redrawing that right now. I'll show you that at the end, what it actually looks like. We did some Pokemon. Who wouldn't want to catch that? Looks pretty cool, right? And then we drew the world's worst lifeguard, the Brave Little Toaster. Yeah, it was a fun little drawing we did. Yeah, I started getting into a lot of crazy stuff, but as I just slowly moved through, you can kind of see I was drawing more Gundams, trying to get better at drawing robots and Gundams. Those are like my two favorite things to draw, but I'm not very good at it. But I'm working at it. I think I'm getting better at it. And then I went ahead and inked it, which you can see kind of has like a rubber feel to it. It has like a sticker feel, but I inked it. Thought it came out pretty good for what it is. Yeah, let me know in the comments how you like about the Gundam drawings or any of the drawings you see so far. I'd be curious to hear your input about it. This right here is another drawing from my sketchbook. So when I originally drew this in my sketchbook, I only gave this guy one hand, and I looked back on him like, why did I do that? Why does he only have one hand? And this guy's got these little baby hands. I wanted to beef him up, but haven't gotten a chance to go back to work on it. But when I came back, I gave this guy two hands. This hand needs to be bigger. These hands down here are a little too small, but when I come back and we work on it again, I'm going to make these corrections. But you can just see how this drawing has shifted so much from what it used to be, something like this. Just exercising those drawing skills, makes you a better artist, I think. Some more drawings. Yeah, we're getting some kind of crazy stuff here. Right about here is about 2023, so somewhere around here, we're about a year ago. Oh, another thing you guys should notice, um, I'm really bad at naming my pieces. I'm so bad at I just didn't name them. I don't know if you can read this, but it says untitled artwork on all of them. The reason that is because I didn't know how to name them when I first started using Procreate. Wasn't until about like a year and a half into it, and I was like, oh, that's how you do it. I don't want to name everything because I don't know what I'm going to draw. So I don't want to sit there and think of a name of a drawing before I come up with a drawing, because I just want to draw. I can care less about what it's called or what people call it, because that's not the important thing to do. The important thing to do is to draw something. So a name at the end of the day has no weight to me. Like, I never named these. Like, all these drawings in the sketchbooks, I never named them. It has no value to me. The value is actually making the artwork. So, just a little tangent. I'm sorry. Let's continue. Here's some crazy gradients I started doing. This line work is actually dark blue, not black. But I started understanding lighting more and having the light come this way. This would be lighter. I can make this darker and make it a nice gradient. So it's awesome. Pumps up that piece too a little bit more, gives it more depth. And you can just see how I'm taking more chances and more risks on drawing too. A lot more drips, but I'm doing stuff that I really haven't done. I drawn bones there. The ramen head, the skull. I didn't finish this because I like it the way it is. So I'm not sure if I will ever finish this, but I like this. So it's just ramen with a skull and a smiley face. Another thing about Procreate, I don't know if you guys know this already. If you don't, you don't, but you do now, is that you can type in Procreate. I typed that in Procreate. I wouldn't type a book, but typing short words, couple of phrases, perfectly fine. I can't imagine how it would be to write an essay or a book in this, but even the typing is a little limited, to be honest. But it's there. You could use it. What else we got? Yeah, this is about a year ago, 2023. I was drawing pills. You can see, let's see. Yeah, this is the underdrawing before I inked it and colored it and did all the fun stuff. I had an idea of what the colors were going to be too. And I started doing that too. You'll notice that my underdrawings, I start actually applying the color that I'm thinking about doing for the finished piece. I wasn't doing that early on. I just kind of adapted that as I continued on drawing, applying that loose light color, planning out my color palette, which is very helpful. It's very helpful. Started drawing some Pokemon. You can see, just jumped right into Cubone. Didn't like how the body was coming out, so I just stopped. You don't often see that in my time lapse in my drawing. So I'll start drawing something. If I don't like it, will cut that out of the drawing and continue the drawing in a different direction. Let's see. This is the first time I started doing really, really thin line work. Oh no. Really, really thin line work. It's not even black, it's actually brown. And I also did a very limited color palette on this too, just to try to show myself that I could do something that's not heavy gradients and heavy packed in with a lot of color. I wanted to try something different. This was a good challenge to work on too. A nice little exercise. Um, this right here. It's a sketch I didn't finish, but I kind of liked the roughness of it, so I left it the way it is. I think this is actually the peppermint brush that I used to draw this. So, and I guess that I colored it too and everything, but I like it being more rough looking. Oh, this is another animation I did. I get how animation works. I like doing it. It just takes a long time for me. I'm very slow at it. I don't know if there's a quicker way to do it. If there is, please let me know. But I'm starting to get the hang of doing animations in Procreate. I know there's other programs you can do it in. I'm just not very familiar with those either. But yeah, if you didn't know, you can do short little animations like this in Procreate. Drawing pills and skulls, hiding the tags. But yeah, this is another fun one to work on. This is all about last year, just 2023. Yeah, this is last year, and you can see the line works a lot cleaner. It's thin. My color is not that crazy. The shadowing is not, crazy with a hard gradient or nothing. Just a simple coffee cup skull. Another fan favorite is this Little Caesars rip. He was killed for his recipe, Eyes of March. So, but yeah, this is another fun one to work on. Just the same process again. I just do this, my underdrawing in my sketch, and then ink it, and then throw that Little Caesar orange on it and call it a day. That was that doodle right there. And then we get some crazy ones like this donut snake, some jimmies on it. Got a Charizard. And this is all about a year ago. This is all roughly about 1 year. This is actually Halloween of last year. This Hunter. I did this in an airport at Philly when I drew this. It was in October. So I know a lot of this. This is actually my Halloween drawing that I did last year. As you can see, I put my name in the shoe. But yeah, it was just last year's Halloween drawing. And then I'm gonna say somewhere in here, I started drawing for the new year. This is in the new year. This was actually made from ChatGPT. If you haven't seen that video, I asked ChatGPT what to draw, and it told me to draw this. So I drew it. If you want to go look at it, go look at it. It's on my channel. So you can watch that video on how I drew that. Then somewhere in here is like the new year. The new year somewhere starts in here somewhere, and this is kind of where we're currently at. This came out earlier this year, this little sheep guy. And you can see my drawing skills a lot different from what it was before. I have gray lines and tan lines. I'm not using the hard black outline no more. It's not very thick either. It's not a very thick outline. I got softer coloring on it now, but I'm still keeping that whole sticker feel. I like that look. And then this is actually just a couple weeks ago. I did this one. Once again, I still put my tag in the in my artwork, and I got a little crazy with the eyes. But yeah, this is actually a couple weeks old. And this one drawing is Mario getting shot by a big old bullet. You might remember that. But I wanted to work on saliva, like liquid and water and whatnot. And this whole drawing was all about drawing like spit. I wanted to see how I could draw it. So I turned this into a fun little exercise, and I think I kind of got the hang of drawing like saliva and spit. Let me know what you think about this particular drawing, if you think that looks like saliva or spit. And then this one was probably a couple days ago. This is Marv in my tag in his beanie. Start working with just gradients and shades, and then doing like a break of where the monochrome, I guess would be called. All green shades breaks for the color shades right here. I think it's called monochrome. It's been such a long time since I've been out of art school. I think that's what it would be considered. Don't Mimikyu was the last Pokemon we did. You could see that live stream. I did it on a live stream a couple days ago. And then the most recent one is the 7-Eleven Slushy Skull. Like I said before, I've drawn it multiple times, and I think this is probably one of my better drawings that it shows my progress from this to what we saw earlier. And all these drawings and all these doodles, I didn't go through all of them, but if you want to see all of them in one spot, my Instagram page, which is at No Effort Art, and you can see all the doodles I've been posting over the last 4 or 5 years. You can actually see that progression shift from doing, sketchbooks to actually just doing digital artwork in my tablet. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at now. We got some skateboard drawings that I did. Working on my new skateboard drawing. But yeah, it's kind of where we're at with everything. I hope you had fun with this nice little video. I just wanted to show you guys some of my drawings that I've been working on the last 3 to 4 years. I hope this was helpful. Hope you guys got something out of it. But until the next time I talk to y'all, have fun, enjoy. I'll see y'all later. Bye.